Yeah. So for the next 30 days, we're going to be following a very specific routine that, and the reason why it's inspired by Michael Jackson is because, everybody knows, well, you might not know. If you watched the MJ movie and if you're an MJ fan, you'll know that Michael Jackson was a massive fan of affirmations. In fact, the type of affirmations that Michael Jackson did were robotic affirmations. He would say something over and over and over again to brainwash himself, rinse his subconscious mind with what he was saying. And one of the things that he would say all the time was, biggest selling album of all time, biggest selling album of all time. Obviously, there's other affirmations that he said as well. He would say, I'm confident, I'm, what did he say? Greatest of all time. There were so many things that he would say, but he would rinse and repeat, even to a point where he had certain amount of time, certain amount of repetitions that he would say, and he would write it down, say, I'm going to say this amount of times. It was like a routine, a ritual, almost like a boot camp that he would put himself through when it came to his mind. So Michael wasn't just about action alone, as in exercising and all of that, and not dancing and practicing and singing and recording and creating. He actually put himself through a boot camp of rinsing his subconscious mind and brainwashing himself for success. And he did it excessively, not in a bad way, excessively, to a point where he had 100% certainty that he was going to have the biggest selling album of all time, because that is what he spoke into existence to I would say probably till he felt sick, speaking it, and he would say it into the mirror. So these are some of the things I'm going to do for this delusional routine challenge. I don't have any program available for this, but if one of the things that you want to manifest, or that you're manifesting throughout this delusional challenge, is money, one thing you can sign up for is the Michael Jackson Inspirational Content Project Club. I'll leave the link for that in the description, and it's basically it's just an amazing project that's been set up. And if you're a Michael Jackson fan, or even if you're not, and you're just a creative person and you really want to be inspired by Michael and actually earn money at the same time, then you can sign up for this. The link is in the description. I'm going to leave the link below so you can actually grab that. But I'm going to talk about the routine that I'm going to be doing. Firstly, I'm going to be listening to the song "Keep the Faith" by Michael Jackson 5 times a day. As I'm talking about this, I've actually already listened to it twice. If you've never heard the song "Keep the Faith" by Michael Jackson, then you're missing out. If you're a real fan, you're going to know what that song is. But if you're someone who is just coming to learn more about MJ, you might have known who he was, or had listened to some of his music, like the most popular ones, like the Billie Jeans and the Beat It's and all of that, Thriller. But you hadn't really gone deep into like Dangerous and Invincible and History album. Michael Jackson had so many songs that would just touch your heart and inspire you to be better. And one of them was "Keep the Faith" on the Dangerous album. And that song was a song that got me through a lot of difficult times. I would just listen to it over and over and over again. So 5 times a day, "Keep the Faith," Michael Jackson. And if you're part of this challenge, you want to do the same thing. You want to repeat affirmations, and you can have a certain amount of time you repeat them, but I'm going to do 3,000 times a day. I've got this counter that I use. It's a handheld counter. Some people use one that they on their phones, so they tap it on their phones, and I don't like those. I like a manual one. I just want to have something tangible. So I'm doing 3,000 times a day. Ask me why I'm doing 3,000 times a day. I'm doing that because I'm the type of person that needs structure. Some people, they just say an affirmation and they're just like, I'm stepping into the knowing and the being, and I identify with this particular type of person, and I've stepped into a new identity and all of that. Even for me, even stepping into a new identity, I still say affirmations because it helps me to stay in that state. That's my opinion. Each day I'm going to spend 5 hours creating content, articles, whatever it is I'm creating. Doesn't have to be content, but creating. I'm going to spend 5 hours a day creating, because the reason why I'm going to spend 5 hours a day creating was because Michael was obsessed with spending a certain amount of time each day practicing or creating. It might have been more than 5 hours, but he spent a lot of time like really putting in that effort. So for the next 30 days, there's no, oh, Sundays I'm taking a break. Absolutely not. Even though soft life is amazing and I love all of that, when I'm doing a challenge, I go all in with it, and there's no such thing as, oh, on Sundays I'm going to take a break. So no, yeah. So I'm going to spend 5 hours. I'm going to put all of this in the description so you can just screenshot it. Okay, and then I'm listening to Keep the Faith 5 times. That's the amount that I'm going to be listening to it. But sometimes, if I feel like listening to it more, I'm going to listen to it more. So it's not a case of saying, oh, it has to be 5 times, and if it's more than 5 times, it's bad. No, I'll listen to it 5 times, and after that, I'll be like, okay, let me listen to it again if I want to. So I can continue listening to it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is listening to and speaking my affirmations in the mirror 3 times a day. I actually have my own audios on this page, so I'm going to be listening to those because they're very specific. I've got a very specific thing, like main thing that I'm manifesting. I mean, it's a bunch of things, but there's a main thing that I'm manifesting, and it's actually one of the things that's inside my audios. So I'm going to listen to those. So you just come up with your own affirmations based on what you are manifesting. And then, yeah, so 3 times a day you do that. And then also throughout the day, I'm going to be listening to other affirmations and different things. And the 2 creators that I like listening to are High Frequency Guru and Brian Scott. So those are going to be things I'm going to be doing instead of just watching random stuff or listening to other types of music outside of the Michael Jackson Keep the Faith song. I'll be listening to this instead. And so when I'm listening to like High Frequency Guru, for example, it will be like if I'm washing the dishes, if I'm cooking, if I'm doing something, cleaning or whatever. It's not a case of me just like doing some meditation. I mean, I can do that, but that's not my, it doesn't have to be like that. This morning, for example, I listened to Brian Scott first thing in the morning. So you can do that as well. You can do like morning and evening, or morning, afternoon and evening if you want. I'm going to recommend doing morning and evening, and if you do anything else, you can do that as well. So for me, it's throughout the day, whenever, and then it's morning and evening. Okay. So for these things, it's important to do something morning and evening, regardless, and you pick what that thing is. It can be repeating your affirmations. It can be waking up and listening to a Brian Scott meditation or activation. It can be waking up and listening to a High Frequency Guru. But the thing that you want to be doing is making sure that before you go to sleep and when you wake up, that you're priming your subconscious mind with something that relates to what you're affirming, what you're manifesting. You don't want to just wake up and start scrolling on TikTok. It's a mistake. You don't want to fill your mind with just a bunch of content, mindless content. You want to really be going deep into priming your subconscious mind. And so I would really recommend affirmations in the morning, straight away when you first wake up. Just start affirming immediately. It's not even a case of, oh, I need to get up and stretch, whatever. Just affirm immediately as soon as you open your eyes. As soon as you slowly start to rouse out of sleep, just start saying your affirmations. For example, you could be like, why do I have £20,000 in my bank account? If that's what you're affirming for, why do I have £20,000 in my bank account? Why do I have 20? Those are ask affirmations. You could also just do an affirmation and just be like, thank you, I'm so grateful for £20,000 in my account. I'm so grateful for £20,000 in my account. I'm so grateful for £20,000. This is just an example, okay? I'm going to say that affirming for, having an affirmation for, one thing is actually, in my opinion, very, very powerful, because it allows you to stay extremely focused. Or you can have a general affirmation that is really, really general. You could say, money flows to me endlessly, money flows to me endlessly, money flows to me endlessly. So it means that you're not going to have, there's not going to be, or you can say large amounts of money flow to me endlessly, or big money flows to me endlessly. And so it means that, there's no cap on how much you're actually going to receive, because it's unlimited. You're saying that, large amounts of money or unlimited amounts of money. So let me recap so that you're not confused. Keep the Faith Michael Jackson song needs to be listened to at least 5 times a day. You need to repeat your affirmations a certain amount of time. I'm doing 3,000 in a day. Okay? And those are just going to be mindless robotic affirmations. It's not going to be the ones where I'm speaking into the mirror. That one is different. I'm going to spend 5 hours a day creating. I'm going to also listen to High Frequency Guru and Brian Scott morning and evening. So I don't have to listen to those throughout the day. I can listen to them whenever I want. I can listen to those whenever I want, and I can also listen to them morning and evening, but the minimum is morning and evening. So for this challenge, morning and evening, you're going to listen to something, either one of the ones that I've recommended, or just have your own. It just doesn't matter. And then I'm going to do my mirror work, and I'll do that 3 times a day, morning, afternoon and evening. So when I wake up in the afternoon as well, during lunchtime or after lunchtime, before lunchtime, and in the evening before I go to bed, I'll do my mirror work. I was also watching a video the other day about 300 things that you want and writing those down. I saw something to do with Steve Harvey. I feel like 300 things is a lot of things. I don't know if I can come up with all of that. So for this particular 30 days of delusion, for me, it's about getting up to a certain monetary amount. That's it. I'm not really thinking about anything else. It's about getting up to a certain monetary amount. And so I'm being really, really specific. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm lying. There are 2 things. One of them is to do with a specific social media page that I have that I want to grow rapidly. And then the second one is the certain monetary amount. So my affirmation it ties into those 2 things. Yeah. So that's that. Like I said, if you want to sign up for the Michael Jackson Inspirational Content Project Club, you can do that in the description. And if you are someone who likes content about manifestation, specifically money manifestation, because I do a lot of content about that, then you can subscribe to my page. Take care. Bye.